Before I say anything, I'd like to say all praise and honor and glory be to God.
Is that on?
Not on. It's on now. Yeah, hear me back there? Cool. Before I start, I'd like to say all praise and honor and glory be to God. I'm definitely honored to be here to not only be able to introduce poets as they come up, but to always hold down the Music More Foundation with my man Terrence, because he does a lot here in Kansas City. And when we talk about Black history, we don't give people flowers while they're here, nor do we typically recognize those that are creating history. And I want to be one of the first. I know I'm not the first, but I definitely want to be one of the first to congratulate Mr. Terrence Williams on everything that he does, because he continues to show Black excellence. And to me, he is breaking a paradigm when it comes to Black history, bringing poets to Kansas City, creating ensembles where y'all guys move around. I'm going all the way back to when you was in Westport and you was doing it in the basement of the coffee shop. Yeah. This man has provided more opportunities than anybody in the entertainment arena without charging. The same with how many radio shows you host? About 20?
No, not that many. Probably about 8.
How many?
Probably about 8 of them, yeah.
I'm gonna say 20. But he's constantly putting people on, man. And ever since I know Terrence, he does it from the bottom of his heart. And I've never seen this man ask for compensation. And many a times I've tried to force him to try to get compensation, and he doesn't do it for that. So if we can, before we start, can we give Mr. Terrence Williams, a bold new poets, Music More Foundation. And I know he's gonna yell at me for that because he does not like being recognized. But before we bring the poets up here, I just want to divulge in Black history a little bit. Because when I hear Black history and I see ensembles for Black history, I wonder why our history always starts and stops with slavery and civil rights. Why don't we think about history being concurrent? Why don't we think about history being day in and day out? Why don't we think about what we're doing and what we're not doing as solidifying history? And what I mean by that, we look at a lot of symbolism from the civil rights era. We see a lot of protests from different caveats, and then we see a lot of people that sit at home and do nothing. We talk about police brutality, we talk about housing issues, we talk about education issues, and it seems like we're stuck in perpetual secondary citizen status, which again goes back to history or creating history. When I look at those that died before I had a chance to live, I see that they didn't care about orthodox rules, they created reality. So when they couldn't go to schools, they didn't talk about it, they just started creating schools. Then you had some political movements to actually get people to go to desegregated schools, but that's not the point of what I'm saying. The point of what I'm saying is that we have an understanding that the future, the present, and the past all coincide at the same time. And for those that don't study science, what I mean by that, when you leave here tonight, if you look up and you see a star, and that star happens to be a couple 100,000 light years away, that means you're looking at the past and the present while you live in your future. So as we engage in Black history and understanding and, reveling with our ancestors, let's understand that we create history right now, and unfortunately, our history looks like a lot of asking as opposed to controlling and creating. And with that, I'd like to bring up the first poet, Mrs. Seth Irvin. Yeah, nah, come on. And make sure y'all keep your mask, and I'll take it off when I got on the mic.
You can take it off on the mic.
Wow. What an introduction. I love what you said, though. You said you create the past, the present, and the future all at once. I didn't expect to go first. How y'all doing?
All right.
All right, it's all right. I think I'm going to dedicate this one to my brother and my mentor, Ephraim Taylor. He was locked up, he's one of the youngest African-American CEOs of a publicly traded company. He taught me a lot, and he was locked up, man. I just feel like he had a bad break. But I dedicate this poem to him. It's called Bars and Chains Can't Contain the Brain, so lock away another brilliant mind. Let's see. What was it here? Okay. In the concrete jungle, he came up on the humble. Against all odds, he stayed out of trouble. He was street and book smart, nothing like the others, not given to violence, but a lover of the brothers. Now an educated black man is trouble to brew. Feared everywhere he went, yet with him it had nothing to do. Cause in a cold, dark world, he couldn't help but shine, and holding all that power, it's just a matter of time before hope was discovered and the reason they find. After all, bars and chains can't contain the brain, so lock away another brilliant mind. Feared on every level, they threw him with the Mandelas, the Martin Luther Kings and all of the other rebels, to oppress and depress and regress his shine, to dim his light and to dull his mind. Now he picked up every book that his soul could find to break free the iron bars and the stones of lime. Even wrote his own book in the course of time on a deserted island, the Apostle John. Revelations kept him going of the truth that he knew, that this world was not his home, but his days were few. That an educated black man was trouble to brew, feared everywhere he went, yet with him it had nothing to do. Cause in a cold, dark world he couldn't help but shine, and holding all that power, it was just a matter of time before hope was discovered and the reason they find. After all, bars and chains can't contain the brain, so lock away another brilliant mind. Now when he got out, he was free indeed, mind full of visions, full of hopes and dreams. Now he had no intentions of a plot or scheme, but with honesty and faith, still believed that he could achieve. He tried finding honest work, but a job he could never find. It seemed like every application he signed was immediately declined. Like that was just the system's design. Like bars and chains can't contain the brain, so lock away another brilliant mind. Now somehow he found a job within a major corporation, but mopping hallway floors wasn't the final destination, so he went back to school to be black with an education, got a job on the sales floor and rose to the occasion. He broke every single record, and to everyone's amazement, led the entire team in sales without a single standing ovation. One day his boss calls him in the office at 9, pen and paper on the desk, and his chair reclined. Our records found you a felon. Now you know you have to resign. I'm sure you knew it was just a matter of time. Picking up the pen, on the paper he signed, saying, I know, bars and chains can't contain the brain, so lock away another brilliant mind.
Nice.
Hey, that was dope, Seth. You definitely got another one if you want to get back up here. I can bring you. You want to come right back now?
Sure. Okay. I will definitely do y'all, bless y'all with another poem. Okay. This one is called Lord help me. Oh my God. The gangster in him had to, the saint in him was sad too. So I found myself being persecuted at one point or another by a good friend of mine, and I feel like it was all kind of ego. He was persecuting me, but he didn't really want to do that, you know? So it's kind of about peer pressure. I won't forget the day a good friend persecuted me. Peer pressure gave in to the man he used to be. No doubt he had regrets, cried tears you never see. Because way before he was a saint, he swore he'd always be a G. Now life choices stick around way longer than a tattoo. If he could go back, don't you know that he'd be glad to. Many bad things that he did, still he couldn't shed a tear. And I know the gangster in him had to, but still, the saint in him was sad too. Let it blossom, let it fade away. The innocent to see the beauty of another day. And the ghetto soldiers fade away. And when mere boys took a stand, many men have fled away. Now hard times make a hard heart sad too. And good times make a madman glad too. And no one knows how you let the streets grab you. A real saint church boy on the front pew. I guess the school of hard knocks is the fast school. In the hood is where you learn to make fast moves. And I know the gangster in you had to, but still, the saint in you was sad too. Under the weight of the world around you, it's no wonder you stayed down with the same ones that downed you. You didn't want to seem like a soft flake, and so you played hard, but never did want to participate. Selling crack? Well, you know the devil had you. Pulling guns? I know the gangster in you had to, but still, saying you was sad too. Now a man is just the sum of his decisions. I write you letters in the summers, pay you visits. Pay no mind to the time and how it's gone. Cause through 6-inch glass, the love we had is still strong. Rewind time and we can never right wrongs. But forgive and forget, that's how you live your life long. Still, I gotta keep it real with your G. I won't forget the day a good friend persecuted me. Peer pressure gave in to the man he used to be. No doubt he had regrets, cried tears you never see, cause way before he was a saint, he swore he'd always be a G. Now life choices stick around way longer than a tattoo. If he could go back, don't you know that he'd be glad to. Many bad things that he did, and he couldn't shed a tear. And I know the gangster in him had to, but still, the saint in him was sad too. It's that piece.
And again, thank you, man. I'm not going to be too long as I stand before y'all because we have a lot of poets. We're going to try to do at least two poems per poet until we get further into the night. And then we may be able to open it up a little bit more. But as far as bars and chains can't contain the brain like a way of brilliant mind, I felt that 100% the same with the pure pressure. So I just wanted to let you know that, man. I felt it 100%. Next, we're going to bring up Miss Tierra Nicole. Nicole. Listen to sing, man.
Yeah.
Action. It's gonna be a movie, my God.
Gotcha. I'll make sure I tell that.
I was 9 years old. And my mom, she gave me a book. Where's Walter? And I had seen him before in doctor's offices. But up until this moment, I had never quite had a book of my own. And I was hooked on Walter. I had all the books. The red, the yellow, and the blue. I even had the video game too. And it would take me hours, days. One time it took me a week to find him. And I knew how to find him. He could be seen, no matter the scene. All I had to do was take my time and be patient. Focus. And then one day, Waldo stopped being fun. I stopped flipping the page. I stopped playing the game. It didn't amount to anything other than to say that I had found him. It was just mindless activity taking up space. And it sounds familiar. I can't really tell you when it happened. But I had seen enough fairy tales to know that it exists. But to actually think that it would be mine, I gave up on it. I quit turning the page like I did Waldo. I'm today's years old when I realized that I view love like Where's Waldo. It was a pastime that I stumbled up on by mere acquaintance. I considered it a gift because it was at times. Love found its way in the same spectrum. It's just valued time that I can't get back, and so I quit turning the page. I quit playing the game. I didn't care where he was. I didn't care to find him. And if love is meant for me, it's meant to be, they don't have to find me.
All right. Me?
All right now.
I'm a good girl with a lot to offer.
Let's go.
I'm a good girl with a lot to offer. I can do just about anything above and under the sun to make my man happy. It's what I tell myself when I wake up in the morning. Trying to make myself believe it when the fact is I don't. I give, and get nothing in return but another burden added to the folds of my heart. I'm smart, with a good head on my shoulders, but the only thing I'm good for is making the men in my life realize the woman they should be with is the one before me. When really, that shit get them scandalous and that's how they found me, but now they're leaving. I find myself at the 11, a new one comes along relating the small mistakes to the big ones you've made. I'm listening to slow songs, trying to bounce back into the mood of love. I'm reading romance novels, hoping that one of the men would fall out of the pages and into my lap so that I could breathe relationship again. But you hurt me beyond measure, and now that I think on it, I probably should have never gave you my treasure. You've infatuated my thoughts and became the rhyme to my reason of insecurity. I'm so used to the lie that I can't tell the truth. I want to believe this one is real, but there I go again, relating the small mistakes to the big ones you've made. But I'm persuaded that before it's all said and done, my son will see me happy. We'll know what love is through the eyes of his mommy, because I'm a good girl with a lot to offer. I'm a good girl with a lot to offer. I can just about anything above and under the sun to make my man happy. It's what I keep telling myself in the morning until it comes true.
When did she get on TV?
I know why you early.
Y'all doing Zoom or Facebook?
When she's on speak?
That's 6:30.
Huh?
And again, it looks like we're moving pretty quick, but this is why I dig poetry over music, because usually when we hear from women, it's about WAP, not pain, love, and self-awareness, which is actually something that's extremely needed. Miss Brianna Minor. Oh yeah, y'all can get loud. I know we in the archives. We don't have to be quiet like that.
I don't think you're on here.
Okay. I'm gonna go with an easy name for me, Miss Savage.
So you doing Facebook Live or Zoom? You doing Facebook Live or Zoom?
It's on both right now.
Okay, cool.
So just let me know.
Okay, and you just send her the link. You just send her the link. Okay.
How y'all doing?
Yeah.
Good.
My actual name is Lisa. My performance name is Lady Savage. There's a story behind it, but we won't get into that. So I have a couple of poems for you guys tonight. One of them is one I just recently wrote. It was actually an old one, but I lost the original one. So I had to rewrite it. And I think this one's better. This one is titled, Does My Blackness Offend You? Does my blackness offend you? Come, let's chat for a few. Allow me to school you on the excellence of blackness. From the kings and queens of creation was the beginning of our black manifestation. Forming the world as we know it, the writings on the walls, it definitely shows it. The very places you seek to find, an attempt to understand, yet you can't without the assistance of an educated black man. From the pyramids to the boats, my ancestors taught America how to flow. When we was kidnapped from our beautiful land to work and build your plantation. Oh, yeah. But we were supposed to be free. Doing your best to try and break down our spirits, but our ancestors rose up because they just wasn't trying to hear it. So they sent directions to Harriet Tubman, the path to the Underground Railroad, and Nat Turner the ability to read and lead a revolution, challenging the lies of this American Constitution. To empower our blackness from your evil confusion of our minds, to lift the veil of our souls so we're no longer blind to the greatness that makes our melanin divine. Which you kill, steal, rape, and oppress to try to make us live and believe in your selfish mess. Oh, but it's a new day. Martin had a dream, and Malcolm said, by any means necessary. Rosa took a seat to rest her tired feet. From the stoplight to the cell phone, our blackness created the majority of the things this crooked-ass world loves. Yet, we are treated like the dirt on your racist-ass rugs. It was a black community celebration when OJ couldn't fit that glove, that black glove. But retaliation when Rodney King was beat with black clubs. but my blackness offends you. Remove black from the equation of this man-made worldly corporation, and I guaranteed you it will surely be the death of this so-called American free nation. Does my blackness still offend you, Lady Savage?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one better. This next one I'm going to read. This is mainly dedicated to the black man. Black men don't get enough praise. They carry the world on their shoulders. There are some good, there are some bad, but for the most part, the good ones don't get what they're supposed to. So I wrote this for my black man, because I want you to know that I love you.
Love him too.
Black man, I love you. From the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. Through your eyes you weep. From your soul of the unfairness of the world so cold. Rough hands, rugged pans, sweaty glands from a hard day's work. I love you, black man. Back against the wall, still standing tall. Even if you fall, I'll still love you, black man. My strength, my structure, my security, my fine black brother. Cut from a special cloth, originated from the essence of Thoth, King Thoth, if you didn't know. Come here, allow me to feast on your thoughts. Feed me the black man, the knowledge from within. Kings of all kings, oh, how I love the way you make my heart sing. Black man, I love you. Lady Savage, thank you.
And I apologize because I didn't do this for the first two artists, and I definitely want to make sure I do it for Miss Savage, Miss Lady Savage. If we could, can we actually give a big, loud round of applause for Seth again, and all the artists that actually came up for Miss Savage. Yeah, if we can give them a big, yeah. And the reason I asked her to do that, and again, I'm not going to be long as I'm calling poets up, but I do think, and when she talked about, does my blackness offend you? The first thing I thought about is how many of us is actually offended inwardly by our own blackness? Why don't we celebrate each other? Why don't we support each other? And definitely, why do we allow what we allow to happen to ourselves and blame somebody else for our own conditioning, which only shows that we can't love ourselves? So I thank you again, Lady Savage. Next up, and this brother is trying to mess me up with the spelling of his name, and I don't actually appreciate it. I appreciate him, but I don't actually appreciate the spelling of it. Now watch me mess it up again.
Hypocrisy.
Yeah, John Hypocrisy Lewis. You know, that took me a long time to learn.
Messing with my man.
I know him. Be nice.
Good evening, everybody. That was really close. I don't like microphones. All right, 2 pieces. If you like what you hear, I have books in Facebook land. You can find me on Facebook. I got books. Let's see. We'll do this. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. Acrophobia. It's fear of heights. Aerophobia is a fear of flying. We all know arachnophobia, a fear of spiders. Astrophobia, a fear of thunder and lightning. Agoraphobia, a fear of being alone. Or nyctophobia, a fear of staying single, alone as in with oneself, unable to escape mind, succumbing to thoughts. It's a trap. I seem to find parts of myself in these. It's interesting how some of these fit snug like two small sweaters that just so happens to be a favorite. And when we all have small fears, we see huge like gamophobia, a fear of marriage, genophobia, a fear of women, philiophobia, a fear of love. I find it hard to say I love you. To things that are forever fleeting. I never truly loved a woman other than family. I love beautiful sunlit days and crisp moonlit nights. I've noticed none of my siblings have significant others. How hard it is to trust. And it makes me sad. It makes me howl at the moon on clear sky nights. Believe me, I tried to find it once. I searched and I learned you don't search, it finds you like rock bottom. They saved your life, love. And with that comes trust. I wouldn't say my fear of women is a phobia, but it's still a fear nonetheless, and I'd be fooled. Hoping to get bit by that love bug or hit with Cupid's arrow, because I'm hopeless romantic at heart. It's beating of the callous flesh Morse code. I want to love you. Phobias and all. There ain't no sunshine, she's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One more.
I know that guy.
Huh?
I know that guy.
I know you too. Party ain't a party till I walk in.
Yeah.
Pat him down and I still get in. I say I'm close to the age of my kin. The party's jumping and it's crazy packed. A bunch of people standing back to back and they vibe. Music is rhythm, they dance. They stepped on his shoes. Brand new. Bump fresh drink made splash. He mad. Money spent to celebrate a moment meant for celebration. A new year life ready to embark. There was no sorry, no my bad, no acknowledgement. Whatever was acknowledgement, it was like a mug and we can't have that. I heard hold my drink. And when the homies say hold my drink, it's about to get real. He about to level up. He about to show a power I've normally seen. Yo, the homie summons me. Hi, I'm Bullet. And I've been waiting quietly, might I add. Because when I pop out, it gets hectic. See, synchronized screams bellow from drunk bellies, and I honestly enjoyed where I was at. I mean, could be cozy. It's cozy. I'm snuggled up to my boo. Bullet number 2. I got my homies with me too. I heard a click. I said, I'm up. Where am I going to? Final destination still undetermined. And I ain't got no name. I'm just here to do a job that's fly and dry after I take dips in pools of blood. And I said I'd bring others with me, but we don't all go to the same pool. I mean, what's the fun in that? We pop off different properties, have surprise parties for unsuspecting bodies, leave bodies. They had an unscheduled finale. Our story goes on. You see, graves get dug while we get dug from ebony flesh. Me, my homies, and my boo reunite in a pan disfigured, ready for a shower. Because it's been a long day. We probably need to soak or a bath. Nah, some therapy. You don't know what it's like being misused in the hands of negligent owners. The heat of the moment brings out beasts transformed, ready for war, ready to extinguish the young star. I was created for defense against predators. Animals, uncooked food, a means of protection. Now the topic of discussion in schools, neighborhoods, churches, clubs. They all red alert and we on red alert. See, my cousin, he law enforcement. He clean. Well, he got more bodies than me. But he get away scot-free. I call him Cousin Boo Houdini, because in his sticky situation, he walks away clean. So don't get mad at me. Don't kill the messenger. Don't play. You can't. Thank you.
Yeah, I actually don't even know what to say, man. It's like the artist with the hardest name be the dopest ones. For real, those, yeah, I don't know what to say. That was just pure talent. Give me just a second. Apologize for this. Okay, next up we have Mysterious. Okay.
Yes, boo.
Yeah, that's fine.
Good. I know,
to sing.
By nature, I'm a nurturer, but even Mother Earth needs to be replenished. But you move on with the wind after you finished. Spark a flame you never cared to extinguish. Chaos from the fires that you ignited. Destroying trees from seeds that you planted, choked and engulfed by the smoke. I take responsibility, yes, I invited. But you wanted sunshine and somehow weren't even available to cast a shadow. I couldn't enjoy the breeze because you refused to slow or even roll down the window. So I took a pause to hear the birds sing, but instead I heard a random hello. Well, his hello turned into me being invited to see the universe, reminding me that I could be free if I just use my tears to water and heal where it hurts. And that I've always been whole, just a beautiful part of me needed to be refurbished. I heard this understanding shift across the room. Because no tear I ever shed stopped me from writing these poems. And no failed relationship or lesson learned ever stopped me from growing. I'm here today knowing that maybe I'm not supposed to. Death's been after my life since the day I was born, that's why I'm still chasing after me. Could be why my pop showed up to the living room with a handheld trophy. So hear me when I say I was born to win. So if my light shines too bright for you, grab some shades or find some shelter then, because when the sun is shining, it never asks for permission. Yes. All I'm hearing is complaining that I have my leaves fall. And when it was raining and the drops was too loud for me to hear any non-existent concerned calls. And when it dried up, it was too hot for you, and now you beg for warmth when I'm cold like ice? No. You so ungrateful and naive. You selfishly take up residency while simultaneously destroying me and look to me for rescue? How dare you? I bet you think this poem is about you, don't you? Don't you understand there's a reason why I'm different? I move like a goddess. But this here isn't even about me. This is a self-empowerment message. Love yourself and whole in whatever way that you wish. And if you don't remember anything else, remember this. You are perfectly imperfect-ish. So my name is so serious. I'm gonna give y'all one more. I'm gonna get out y'all here, but I want to make sure I say my name. My name is so serious. Breathe. Breathe. When I woke up today, all I expected to do was breathe. To prepare myself for the day and leave, make an effort towards pursuing my dreams, but it seems as though my expectations were not enough. Today, someone is wishing that they showed more love. And someone is begging for just one more hug, because a slug took away my mom's ability to call me, my right to make new memories, death of a legacy, and all I expected to do today is breathe. You see what I never saw coming. My vision went black, the pain, the cold, and then the numbing. But I hear sirens in the distance, so that means my help is coming. Screaming, a scream that can never be heard. Scared because up until this moment, I undervalued death to be just a word. Whether careless or careful, I'm black in America, so I was only as safe as a bird. Flying high for all to see, but exposing true vulnerability. I never even saw the hunter aiming for me. But I lost all strength and ability. Breathe. Breathe. The first and the last thing you'll ever be told to do, when this time you need help, but there's no time to. Can you, please, not record my life's most desperate and final moments? Please put the camera down and help me, because I won't even live to see the comments. Wow. Stop standing there opinionated and watching. No options. I don't have no options to have you switch places with me. But you'll post my death and write R.I.P. When you could have just used that time to help save me. But that's not your responsibility, and that I understand. But neither was recording me. We just did that shit for the fans. Technology has truly numbed the heart of every man. Breathe. It was supposed to be easy. That's literally what I was born to do. but I lost my birthright in the hands of those who play and choose. Who really decides if I'm gonna lose? If it's not me, why the fuck is it you? See, I know if you know hatred, you at least long for love long enough to know what it is too in me. I would have loved to continue to just breathe.
Yeah.
Now I definitely know why they call it mysterious, because when you can transform words into meanings, and then you can make them people feel that is magical. There's 2 more artists that haven't went up yet, and then we're gonna start a different rotation. And I just want to mention that too. So can I get Miss Orsima to the stage next?
You gotta risk it for the biscuit.
Ain't no biscuit if you don't risk it.
See, cup.
How y'all doing tonight?
All right, all right.
They say, don't fall for poets. The writer knows how to dress their words up and take you to new worlds, then become a different person after the performance. A metaphor can appear to be a cheap and easy thing. They say, don't fall for poets. You'll never be able to really have them all to yourself. The poet knows how to temporarily share their souls with strangers, knows how to make a person feel seen, make someone, anyone, everyone in the audience want to bring a piece of your person home. They say, don't fall for poets. Y'all ever meet a motherfucker who's so good with words and still don't know how to communicate? They say, don't fall for poets. I've been told they're toxic. Like if Brent Fayez and Future had a love child, but the wordsmith will always argue with you. Because if melody is medicine, that's what they're thinking. They'll laugh and then ask, how could something so beautiful ever be bad for you? Yeah, they say don't fall for poets. Basically, there's 2 types of love poems. The one where your name is everything, that is sacred, safe, and protected, and the one where it means nothing but a painful memory. Be careful if you inspire. But I say, if you can convince her, the poet will give you everything they have. I say, the poet will choose their syllables carefully when describing you. They know that the pen is sound waves, capable of turning a soul into a saint greater than any pain they've ever faced before. Meaning, they can speak you into perfection. They know a thing or two about resurrections of the people once dead to them. I say, the writer will forge the passion. Forgo the small talk, encourage expression of your thoughts, and convince them to go from prose into verse. They'll turn your conversations into the next muse, and then they'll gift you the world, and every side of any word you could ever ask for. I say, the wordsmith will tear their own teeth out. The wordsmith will tear their own teeth out to turn tears into triumph. They'll mix the salt with baked bones, and then they'll call it bread. They'll feed however many people are in the crowd who are hungry to see trauma become consumption, become body, become both communion and corruption, with masses. Meaning, they'll show you how to believe in something. So basically, a poet will love you like a metaphor, but you should be careful. It's their heart you have in their hands, even if it appears to be a cheap and easy thing. That's my first piece.
Yeah.
And I just realized my master. Don't need to do that. You're right.
Oh.
Alright. So I'm kind of in insomnia. You know, this poem says that. It's 3:23 a.m. And I know I could be thinking about the sunrise in 3 hours and 52 minutes, but I just woke up from a dream where our names were on opposite sides of a magazine cover, and we weren't speaking to each other. So I drove to your apartment and sat outside in my car, getting up the courage to ask you if the magazine cover was true. If the reason you disappeared like stars on city lights was that I reminded you of someone else who could light up the night sky. It wouldn't be the first time that someone who's kissed me then ghosted me was hit with that realization. And I just want to know. It's 3:23 a.m. And I know I could be thinking about all the opportunities afforded to me. I'm thinking about how thought is a prison. Guitar encrusted diamond-shaped cage hanging outside of a nearby painted glass door. Dripping droplets that compete with asphalt. It's 3:23 a.m. I try to go back to sleep and dream of black heroes who create safe spaces for black creators and share history during drives on Kansas City lights near sunset. And I realized I was dreaming of your part of town. It's 3:23 a.m. Now the same poetic lines running through my mind, looping over and over until my brain crashes, or I go to sleep, or my brain crashes, or I go to sleep, or my brain crashes, or I go to sleep, or I go to sleep. I write them down, so I finally write them down. And I realized the Band-Aid was torn off of the clock next to my bed. It's 3:24 a.m. This poetry book's upside down and open next to me in my notebook. You told me I won't leave, and then you did. You have me at a distance of 5 unanswered messages from the last 2 weeks, and me telling myself, I know I'm not crazy for thinking about you through numbers and music and the concept of turning the word into a story. What happened? It's 3:25 a.m. And I'm still stuck at 3:23. Then I look up again and I realize it's actually 3:57. I think I saw you yesterday. Didn't want to come into the building so you saw my car parked out front, my silhouette in the window, right? It's 4:04 a.m. I'm breathing and trying to remember that maybe some things aren't allowed to start for a reason. Maybe the universe was trying to say sorry, and maybe this was only supposed to be writing material. It's 3:23 a.m. I'm trying to remember that people are not homes you have to care for unconditionally.
Yeah.
Give it up for Miss Orsima again.
Yes.
Now next, I'm gonna bring up somebody who I murdered name every time I've actually been in the room and on the microphone to actually introduce this person. But I do want to say this, I have definitely a special place, not only for her, but what they brung. And this is something that we're bringing back to the city, and I wanted to wait till I actually introduce her before I talk about it. So at the Capitol, we used to do a Malcolm X celebration. Big thanks to Terrence, he used to bring the bold new poets up there every year. We'd take care of the bus, and we'd force the Missouri Capitol to actually learn Malcolm unedited, and also hear our poets not reciting poetry to make people feel comfortable, but actually divulge it into hidden meanings. So with that, I'd like to bring up Miss Imvani Payne. I didn't practice her name so many times. That makes no sense. I don't know how I've been murdering this stuff. So I'm just gonna keep saying this Imvani Payne.
And beyond.
And beyond.
And beyond. Say man. Of course. Murder every time, though. Every time.
I was about to just jump into my phone, but now I got it back a little bit. Hello, everybody. My name is Empion Payne. And I say words and things. I do poetry type stuff or whatever. Later on during the night, there will be something else, correct? Am I?
Yes.
Okay. So, there you are. To live is to struggle. Truth is, there isn't a person who you will meet who won't hurt you. You just have to decide who's worth suffering for. And what's more, is this world is full of suffering, but it is also full of people overcoming it. So come and get this knowledge as it rolls from our lips. The drum beat skips, the drum beat skips, the drum beat skips to the rhythm of me standing on my own 2 feet, because Independence Day isn't just a holiday in July. I declare individuality, pledge allegiance to my own reflection, extend the connection to the nation of ladies just like me, those all too familiar with misunderstandings. Left standing under misconceptions, thought she should have been missed at conception. Mommy couldn't afford the abortion but didn't protect the erection, so now we are here, staring down corridors with eyes like irons, ready to smooth the wrinkles of this life out. Get the F out and all you have is a lie. Remove the if and you don't even have anything worth dealing with, so we fight tooth and nail, and sometimes even with a toothpick just to get it. We are that ambitious. We know all too much what nothingness tastes like. Spent many an impoverished night, feasting only on the dreams we aren't supposed to have. Baptized the day's stresses away in hot baths, vacation under the hole in heaven. Hung out in hell's hideaway, had to hide away happiness because that wasn't a luxury we were supposed to partake in. Now we take in the grimaces of these women who think we have gotten too big for our riches, but then have no idea about the bridges we had to build over those troubled waters. Women like us are what happened when God planted his seed into American soil and gave birth to illegitimate daughters. We are the demigods amongst you. Watch what our tongues do. We speak, we spit, we split the one-sidedness of your existence. Listen, Christ himself sheds tears for our contrition. And following tradition, we use mustard seeds to move the mountains on our missions, whether or not we make a statement. I initially wrote this poem for a 13-year-old girl who wore her pain etched into her wrists like bracelets. I initially wrote this poem for a 17-year-old girl who cared more about the shape of her body than a college placement exam. You can leave your place of famine. You can go from the valley to the pinnacle. It is possible. Just imagine. Take your past pain, your current passion, multiply your action, and that is the formula for success. You have been blessed to testify. The jury may not always be one of your peers, but still there's a need for all to arise like the moon setting on the cups of a day not promised. To be honest, life is about risk and learn lessons, like how to make better investments than things that are only temporal. Use the space between your temples to elevate and find that yes, this world is full of suffering, but it is also full of people overcoming it. So come and get this knowledge. Your life absolutely depends on it. Thank you. Facebook does silly stuff, and that's why you should memorize your poems or at least print them out. That's my PSA for the day. That's your Pixie PSA. She said Pixie, Alrighty. I really want to do, so I'm going to do 3 poems because I do stuff like that. I take liberty with people's time. I apologize. Alrighty, here we are. In America, all lives matter unless you're poor or sick or displaced or until they don't. Or rather, you're too dark, which is to say too African to claim pure-blooded American ancestry. Then in that case, here in America, we say Black Lives Matter. Unless you're gay, or trans, or a woman. In that case, in America, you can be mother, martyr, marauded, murdered, missing, still milk carton missing, but they will not miss you. Will not mourn you, will not march or make murals in your name, will not even mention you or your name like men in America in this place. They will treat your pussy like a black hole, hungry for hands and your humanity, suitable only for sucking your memory into a forgettable oblivion. In America, they will not media frenzy for you, will not release multiple Amber Alerts for those who are amber-hued, will consider online-only activism enough for you. They will not cover your casket with concern or consternation, will not hashtag at your grave, will not give a damn that there are fates worse for you than the grave. In America, they will say to the world, bring back our girls, as if so many of our girls in this place, here, America, were not already lost. Thank you. Last one, and I'm sitting down. Thank you guys for not blowing me off the microphone. Why? An inquiry that often rolls from my tongue as I question my situations and day-to-day interactions in a society that would have preferred to remain foreign to me. Stripped of my royalty, bastardized because I'm too young, to have the blood of kings and queens purely, pumping and flowing. The beautifulness of blackness stands before you, showing that this all-encompassing quality has more layers than what your vision can comprehend. Black is bold, black is looming, black is attitude, black is crafted, black is kindred, black is what you make it, but never mistake it, for surely it will overtake the world. So I understand their intimidation and inclination to horror and mortification at the realization that all powerful is the race I embrace successfully. If you're brave enough, you can trace our ancestry to a woman and man in the motherland, beating primordial drums that enabled all of their descendants to be naturally rhythmic. Our pride is intrinsic and must be dealt with, but gently, because if you tempt me, I'll write poems and send them directly to the homes of every militant and rebel ever known, and become the leader of a revolution with an exponential amount of clones. Throughout so much of history, we have been denied an identity, the continual victims of euphemisms, made to feel poultry. The words African American meant nigger, Negro meant nigger, colored meant nigger, nigger meant nigger. So briefly we agree. So what gives the others any choice but to figure that looking down on us is okay? No way, not another day. You see, black isn't just a color, it is a mindset. And I'm sorry to say that simply watching BET won't help you find it. We were created to be more than flesh hangers for overpriced designers, obsessive bump pumping grinders, only on top happy hour at the club, waiting liners. We are the group God chose with his son and our likeness, skin of bronze and hair of wool, so blonde hair and blue eyes. I don't buy it. I know how scary it must be. Doing it into that category minority, losing all of that ill-gotten authority, because we all know the slogan that was laying before me and my people: one drop maketh a brand new black. So just like back in the times we would war in between tribes, I will stand up against opposition and opinions with the utmost conviction. Beauty being found in the gamut of my people was the manifest intention. Just check out our presence. Notice how it makes you question your existence. Join the movement or be destroyed by the ignorance of your resistance. The bloodline runs strong. So yeah, my people have persistence, from burnt sienna and ochre to cream and coffee and buttermilk, from rough, tough, and stubborn and smooth and soft as silk. Add to the equation of predictability, and no wonder to exist when they see me or my kind. As a people, we are simple or inane or prone to crime, but they'll still clutch their belongings, curse us in their minds. It images of us in trees with ropes to bind. And frequently, against my better judgment, I ask why. Are we ready to stop asking questions and seize this nation? Because now is the perfect time. Thank you. I'm Vivian Payne. Have a good night.
I like it.
No, she kills. We ready for alright, so next,
Not yet.
can we bring another board up there?
I'm gonna say some few words.
Okay. How long? You know, you gotta give me a time limit.
5-10 minutes.
Alright, so because I just talked to you for a little bit, I wasn't actually expecting that.
Yeah, you got something.
No, I really don't have anything that I thought of other than the stuff that I've been fighting for and the issues that I've actually had. So I'm just gonna start there until you tell me to stop, because the poets here tonight are actually touching people's hearts with the way they're relaying stuff, and I'm not here to step on any of that because I'm more political than anything, right? So when I look at the words that I'm hearing, I look at the emotions that I'm hearing, I always tie that into the political reality in which we're facing. So when we talk about issues from self-denial, self-hate, self-love, relationships, most of that is institutional, and people aren't going to understand that, right? Even when we talk about marriage, family, education, my man, Hippocrates was talking about all the phobias, and the only one he didn't mention was the phobia of learning. And I think that is our biggest issue in America today. Not history, not racism, not institutional barriers, but the very distinct reality that we refuse to learn what people tell us we can't do. So they tell us that you have to ask somebody for a job, or you need to go to school to get a job, which shows a fundamental misunderstanding of American assimilation, because America is all about ownership. They tell us that imagery isn't as important, but if you ask somebody about the imagery of Christ, it becomes a racial issue. You can't say that he's black because it's not as important. But imagery is extremely important, because if you have kids and you look at TV now, every social engineer reality is part of it. So when I grew up, you didn't see cartoons, kissing cartoons of the same gender, and I have no issue with gender identity. But my point of that is imagery is important, because we talk to people from the LGBTQ community, they would say that it's important to have those cartoon characters because it reflects a community. We'll be the same when it comes to the black community and the denial of any type of black leadership in cartoons. You can't even name a black action figure that is not done. You can't name one. And again, a lot of that falls back onto us. We read books, we read magazines, but we don't print them. We wear clothes, we immortalize other people's names, but we don't support those that make fashion in our own community. The same when we talk about economy and entertainment. We will bend over backwards to go to a club or to go to a venue, and I use the Chiefs as an example. During the Super Bowl, I'm on Facebook, I'm watching all type of folks that I know is poor down in Tampa. They kicking, but they can't come down to a city council meeting about where their dollars are going. Or they can't go to a state function about laws and regulations, and I give you one that a whole bunch of people have been complaining about and faking. So you talked about the revolution. We talked about police brutality. This summer we had a whole bunch of protests about chokeholds, about the way they engage. Now dig this, I got a boy named Brian Williams, he's a senator. Not one person from Kansas City has actually called Brian Williams to support his bill that would ban chokeholds statewide. When I was at the Capitol, I didn't see very few people that supported, where's my man that talked about peer pressure and going to the penitentiary, etc. I had a bill that was certifying bond inmates at the Capitol. I didn't see people come up there. But what about reality today? Today, most of our social services and most of the benefit factors are outside of our community. So our social service workers outside of our community, probation and parole workers outside of our community, managers outside of our community, nonprofit organizations that deal with homelessness, that deal with everything outside of our community. Why is this important? Because most of your tax dollars go to solidify their business. On the city council level, have an Office of Citizen Engagement that will create a new parameter when it comes to tax dollars. Meaning that if you say in a geographical area, you say that you can do A, B, and C, you would actually qualify for that money before somebody that doesn't stay in the area. That creates self-determination. So when we talk about our historical figures from Malcolm to Morton to Kwame Ture to who everybody is now badly quoting Fred Hampton, we need to be serious. Fred Hampton actually stated something before he died that if he wasn't going to do something revolutionary, you shouldn't say his name. But I know most people haven't heard that quote. Because when we talk about history, reality, history is only history because we choose to allow somebody to dictate our story. And that's why we're slaves. That's why we secondary. That's why when you look at anything about Egypt, you know, the aliens built it, but we can't tell you how. Right? It's psychosis and it's madness. So my whole point that I'm trying to make is either we get to a point where we understand that if we're going to have self-love that is self-induced, if we're going to have a community in which we can live in, that doesn't mean moving out to a different area. That means cleaning up the trash in front of your house, in front of your neighbor's house, and then engaging the kids that nobody wants to talk to. The same when we talk about what we don't have. Kids ain't got activities, they ain't got sports, they ain't got people to teach them how to rate. Well, who the hell is gonna do it if you don't?
Yeah.
And if you're not, you definitely are the problem. You the issue. We close. Okay, and with that, I'm gonna actually bring up Miss Mary Moore. We call her Mother Moses.
Yes!
And she's actually lived a life of self-determination. And if y'all don't know her story, I think she's gonna go into it a little bit. Is she ready?
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Alright,
Let me unmute. Yes, I'm here. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Clearly. Yes, I'm here. I'm unmuted. Give me a wave if you can hear me. Okay, great, great. Oh, I'm so good with this technology. My goodness, so let me just say this. I want to say this right now, my God, that there's no accident.
This is the main step.
This is not a coincidence that there is this meeting right here in the Black Archives.
Yes,
In the
ma'am.
18th Divine Jazz District, because the 18th Divine Jazz District is holy ground. It is hallowed ground. The Black Archives is located in the 18th Divine Jazz District, the American Jazz Museum, and all of that ground where our ancestors, Luke Hamza, who just passed away 2 or 3 years ago, and he was the last of the one of the old goddess jazz masters, that he said his words was that the 18th Divine Jazz District, where we all traveled inside of that space on those streets, that was his playground when he was 11, 12 years old. He just died 3 years ago in his 90s. And had converted to Islam. He was originally known as Larry Cummings, and he found the faith. That is the faith of Malcolm. And there is no accident today that the son of Malcolm is in the Black Archives, officiating today, because that is who and what and the spirit of Malcolm resides with. His name is Brandon Ellington. He's the son of Malcolm. And I know that. And we all be aware, because that is the spirit that's around him. Just like I'm sitting here in my space with the spirit of Harriet Tubman in my sanctuary. And all of the ancestors who have died and gone before us are with us. They are right there with you. I just want you to know that. You take a breath in and breathe in, because they're in the air you breathe with you right now in the Black Archives of Mid-America, with the spirit of the one man who I met many, many years ago. He drowned, serving the community, by the name of Forrest Peterson. I remember the day he drowned in Smoke Park trying to save somebody. That's how Forrest Peterson died. And here's the Black Archives with his spirit there reigning. I believe to my soul that is where we have to go back to and archive our Black history. They are in every museum all over the world, where all of the greater powers that be preserve our history and control the narrative. We must own our own narrative and archive our own stuff in our archives, in the Black Archives. There's no coincidence that we're archiving and meeting today in the Black Archives of Mid-America. It's appropriate and designed by God. I am wearing today, the Lord said, put on the colors, baby. So I am wearing the colors for the liberation, the red, black, and green today, to represent liberation as a warrior. Just as they said, you can kill a revolutionary, but you cannot kill a revolution.
Come on, come on.
And this is beginning. We're at the end of an era. We know for sure. It is before us. We see it. What I knew and what has been sitting in my soul ever since I left Froggy Valley and hell and the Ku Klux Klan and what is present now in this America. That's what's been sitting in me. And the damage that it did to the soul, to my soul as a child, witnessing the Ku Klux Klan riding down the dirt road where we were told that we had to get off the dirt road in the ditch when the white people was driving on the road because they would cut out at you and run you down with their car. That's my real personal experience. My father witnessed 9 lynchings in his lifetime. My dad. When he died, there was a lump over his lip, where they shot at him with a shotgun and one of the pellets burst his face, and he died with that sign right there where they shot at him on the back road in my home. So I'm just saying today that this is the day with the Black Archives and this generation that is the change that we want to see. You are the ones who speak truth to power, finally. You have the courage to speak truth to power with your words, your spoken word. You are the righteous generation. I apologize for the hypocrisy. For the hypocrisy that you had to deal with from my generation. They're trying to get out into the, with the old guys and the old gangsters that have been on the streets with these young males and young black males with their language, unrighteous, and still haven't learned the lesson. But we have some righteous brothers out here from this generation whose boots are on the ground and engaging with these children who are hopeless and who are killing each other. And I'm just so thankful that God allowed me to see that. So that gives me hope. And I have been re-energized. I have answered the call that God has put on me. My body is broken. It's breaking down. I can hardly walk, but my spirit is not.
Huh. That was powerful. She's just doing it.
So they're trying to call me, but this is the moment right now that I must stay right here. I will stay at this present moment. So he said, that hope that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. Come on. Well, I'm letting you know right now that my begotten son, my black prince, who looks after his mom, has came down with COVID, and he serves his community down in Houston, Texas. And he's under attack because the enemy want to take him out, but I declare and I rebuke that in the name of Jesus, in the name of Allah, and all of the gods of the power of the God we pray to. I pray to that God. You can call whatever name you want. I have lived in synagogues in a 99% Muslim country. I pray with my brothers and sisters over there. It's the most awesome thing I've ever experienced, to be in a sea of people who all look like me. And we pray together. Come on. To the same God. And that's what we have to go. We have to remove this religion out of the way. This is not about religion. This is about God. And I encourage everyone. The one thing that I want to say to you, when you gather, wherever you gather, pray first. This is time to pray. Prayer lives matter. Black lives matter. And prayer lives matter. This is the time for us to pray. And it's not some kind of official thing. Just talk to God. Just open your heart. And just start speak to that force, that divine force, and get still in presence, and it comes to you. So I know that I'm long-winded, and I just want to thank Terrence Williams, who is the gatekeeper, who's been called, who holds the shavings that I put in his hands from the real homicide, and also the shavings that I gave him for Brandon Ellington. Those were the two that God said put those shavings from the homicide with the brothers who took over that ship. And the old man who rebuilt it to its original specs gave me a bag of shavings from the homicide. And I brought them back to Kansas City with me. I put them in my grandsons, but the Lord said put them into the hands of gatekeepers in this community, and that's what I've done. So this is a spiritual journey we're on, people. We're on a spiritual journey. We are spiritual people by nature. Yes. We're not killers. And we have to cancel out the gun culture. We cannot be a gun culture And like Brandon was saying, we're gonna be responsible for our own community, and we're gonna clean up our own yards. You know, represent us. Break the yards. Whatever house you're living in, wherever you're living, make it clean. Just clean it up. That when you drive up, that you feel good and that you feel proud, and have your children to rake the yard and clean the yard. This is time to get back to the table with family. And the last thing in closing, because God has called me to launch and to start the Back to the Table initiative, and that is for the healing and the restoration of a people. And we have to do our own healing work. And so that is within the first piece that I want to say to this community. I want to say to everyone in that room that's sitting there in the sound of my voice. Call your families to the table. Call everybody in the house to come on, let's sit down. Turn off the TV, just be present with each other. With your children, grandchildren, whoever's in your house, and whoever you're connected to family-wise. We're going to sit down and have a family talk. That this is a time where we're going to do things a different way. And if you have not been the kind of example in the presence of your children, what kind of language do you use in their presence in your house? What do you say to them? How are you representing what yourself? Is that the future you want for your children? And if it's not, then you have to put that kind of example before them in your house. When you're talking to their mother, or when you're talking to them, the language you use has to be consistent. And you just say to them, the language you heard me use, the way you've seen me conduct myself, I'm sorry, I was wrong. It was not good. This is not the life I want to live. We're all going to go forward together. And give that child a voice. Let them tell you how they feel about what they experienced with you. Give them a voice. Hear them. And then say, I'm sorry, we're going to do things as a family in a different way. And make a contract. Make a commitment. Write it down. The vision you have for your family, you write it down. Put those into agreement with each other. The scripture says, write it down. Make it plain, because what you say becomes what you say. Whatever that is. What you write down, there are life in your words. They are living things. That's what I want to say. So whatever it is that you're saying becomes alive. So if you're speaking and using language in a different way, it would change the whole the vibe of in your house. It will change all of that. People are still trying to call in and break him up. But so Brother Brandon, I'm so thankful that you decided to leave the state of Missouri. You were fighting a battle of war up in there. And you decided to come home and put your boots on the ground, in the neighborhood, with the people. That's the only way you're going to get this done, engaging with them. And I want to tell you that I've been watching. I've been praying. I'm continuing to pray for you. You're the greatest leader that we have had at City Council since, what's the old man who just wrote a book? You know, and I watch down too, I'm watching what you're dealing with. I'm looking at the faces on some of those people looking like deer in headlights when you're challenging them in your righteous way. I'm proud, brother, and I thank God for you. Continue to stay focused, because that's what you are. You're focused.
All right.
And to lead the way forward with those that you have around you, because there's a tribe. You have formed a tribe and a village. And lastly, you know the one thing that Nelson Mandela said in his inaugural speech. He said, never. It was written out of a book by Marianne Williamson, and I have her book in here. But he quoted her. He said, never underestimate the ability of a small, dedicated group of people to change the world.
Yes.
Indeed, that is the only thing that has ever changed the world. A small, dedicated group of people. We are enough. And there are enough people in this small town called Kansas City to change it. And I'm a part of it. as Mother Moses, as Mother Mary, Mother Moses, to be a voice, the unifying voice, to unify our community, to be that voice in whatever way God uses me. Because Kansas City grassroots community needs a mother. And Mother Mary is here. And will continue to engage with these people in the grassroots community as I do every day. As I do every day. That's the work I do. It's not on TV, it's not on blast, but there are many, many people. The one thing that I was here last week, because I'm engaging with these young children that our community who are hopeless, and that they are hopeless because they have nowhere to go. They have nowhere to turn to. I mean, they are black in America, where can they go? And they encounter the same disrespect, the dismissiveness from people that look like them. They see us coming, they look everywhere else except looking at us because they know what's looking at them is killing them. To be kind, because I intentionally speak to them and engage with them and say, how are you? And tell them how beautiful they are. And they don't know what to do with it. And they start, when I ask them, what is your relationship with your mother? They start to weep. And they follow me and I let them cry. And I pray for them and they walk away changed. And I told them about Dre that there are males in the city of Kansas City that can help them get back on a path for their lives. And we all have to do that. Be kind. When you pass them, don't be looking at them up and down and say, snarling, disapproving of them, then hurt their soul. Just speak to them because it's simply saying, yes, you. When you say hi, it's saying, yes, you. Or you look at it, it's either saying one thing, yes, you, or not you. Language is a powerful thing when you look at somebody. They know what's looking at them. Change your mind, change your attitude, change your presence when you engage with these hopeless children out here. That they feel like they have a soft place to fall and somewhere to go. Because they don't feel like they have to go anywhere. And that's why they gang up with each other. They are the only friends they have. Because the people who look like them reject them and judge them. We gotta stop. Be nice. Be kind. Just say yes.
Yes.
Keep it here. Keep it here.
Yeah, now keep Mother Mary there.
She's not staying there.
Yeah, put your phone on airplane so they don't, that cut off her internet. Don't do that. Just don't answer your phone. I'm gonna read through a small list of accomplishments, and her accomplishments expand way beyond this list right here. Wrote and starred in the one-woman drama, Let's We Forget, A Journey from Oppression to Triumph, 2000 to 2010. And it was displayed at various venues throughout KC in the Midwest region. Wrote and starred in a one-woman play, Meet Me at the Table, 2008, Community Christian Church. Charter member, Wild Women of Kansas City, 2008. Starred as Mama Mano in the Shane Evans production, OLU's Dream, 2001. You can see it aired at the KC Public Library. Creator and producer, Women of the Arts KC, Miracle on 18th and Vine. A Benefit for Homeless Women, that was 2014 and 2015, respectively at the American Jazz Museum and Blue Room. Volunteer Outreach Advocate, True Life Family Research Center. Creator Back to the Table, Journey to Freedom, which is a workshop and seminar for homeless women. First time multiple winner, Showtime at the Apollo. And that's when, they're blowing people off. And Wednesday night, amateur night broadcast at CBS in Harlem, New York. 30-year veteran international touring artist and jazz blues ambassador. Participant, Middle Passage Monument Project. Participant, Oak Basel 2000, New York City, Women of the Middle Passage. Participant, United Nations sponsored trip to Gorilla Islands, Slave House residents, Senegal, West Africa. Accompany Queen Mother Dr. Blakely. I'm not even gonna try to say that first name. And then I have a few publications here for those that actually haven't checked out the publication. And if you have and you haven't brought one, you should. And she didn't ask me to say that. Back to the Table, a conversation that was written by Mother Mary Moore. Right Back to the Table, Journey to Freedom Edition. and I believe this is the photo that was taken over in Pompeii, and Terrence actually knows the whole story to this. Because you were saying she took the picture there for what team?
She was a member of the Blues Society of Kansas City. She was also on the program to mentor children. And she took a trip to Europe. She went to Pompeii, and she walked all the way down the stairs, got on that stage, and a journalist took that picture of her at Pompeii.
And I want to hit a couple other things. I'm going to get on some volunteering on to jump off. Mother Mary also consistently volunteers currently right now with GYRL Young Princesses program, encouraging them, bringing information to them, teaching a whole new generation, which is extremely important. But she, and I'm not going to be long because I know we need to bring up some more poets, but she touched on a few things, and I'm going to kind of paraphrase when she was talking about writing. Writing actually does create reality, and those realities are their own perception that creates the understanding. And I'm not going to explain that. When she talked about being run down by a car, the lynchings, the hypocrisy, I do want to use hypocrisy in a different fashion though, to say that we're going to go with hypocrisy here as opposed to hypocrisy in definition. But the lynchings, the being run down by a car, the people being shot, nothing has actually changed. We're watching history repeat itself and repeat itself and repeat itself. And my only point of this is a scientific understanding. If you take a glass of water and you put it in a whole bunch of different receptacles, that glass of water does not change. It's just in a whole bunch of different receptacles, right? And then they would either participate, go back in the air, and come back out, etc. And that would be the same with the human condition. When we look at our children, it's a combination of genetics, not no new genetics. When we look at our environment, it's a combination of no ownership, nothing new there. So when we talk about shootings, lynchings, modern day cameras catching people getting choked out for cigarettes and the whole nine, it's the exact same thing. And it's only going to stop if we actually control our destiny, and we can only control our destiny by our perception, and our perception has to be centered on self-determination, meaning nothing else matters except the rules, regulations, and the customs that we create, and that's normal in all American culture. If you talk about white communities, affluent communities, Asiatic communities, it just kind of falls off when you talk about the so-called minority community. You want me to bring somebody else up now, T?
Just let everybody know that we archiving this.
Oh yes, and we are archiving this, and that's, I'm glad you said that. She mentioned archives in history. When I read through her bio, you'll see that she created a lot of plays herself. So when we talk about the entertainment world, and when we talk about mass media, there's only 5 media companies, and that's politics. So if we're not controlling our own story, our own narrative, and creating our own media, we're always going to have a story that's retold and dictated to us to create our perceptions of our observations, which creates our reality. So we will be archiving this. You want me to mention the other one too, or should I wait on that?
No, we're also gonna.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even want to say her name because I keep killing me. M. Bunny Payne, I don't mess it up.
MVI.
I know, man, it's the M and the colon that gets me. MVI Payne, we also archiving you. So when we talk about the Black archives and guaranteeing that we have dedication to our artists and those that encourage future generations off of their words, we have to be serious about this. And there's one ask that I would like to ask after I get off of here, and it has nothing to do in particularly, but every author that actually has written something, if you can contact my office, because we have a plethora of new Black artists that are coming out, creating children's books, creating bios and all type of other stuff, and I think we need to be a little bit more strategic in networking that. I'm not going to get on a political standpoint, but there's certain things I can help out with that. So just email me your titles. I don't need like full descriptions and stuff like that. Go ahead. Come on up, let's go. You got your book? Because I don't have it. You can give me your book.
What is happening? I
have no clue, huh?
Mention your book.
Oh,
You have your daughter for the archive, you know.
Okay, so I don't want to seem like I'm being unprofessional, but like I literally found this out this morning. So like this is as much a surprise as it is an honor for me.
Right now, so the book that is going to be archived is called An Inheritance of Rain. And it happens to be my third book or collection of poetry, that I have. Wow. I knew when I was coming here, that's why I got on this dress. No, I'm not always this jazzy. But I just like actually being here in the moment and like looking out and seeing people and just it is very surreal. Like I've made a comment about it on Facebook, like I'm still waiting for everybody to be like, okay, no, we were just playing. But I don't know, man. That whole self-deprecating imposter syndrome stuff. Like, do I really deserve this? Did I really do something and make people be like, you did a thing? And what, man? So I will say, because I didn't know if I would be able to make a speech, as far as the book being archived, but I do want to, I don't know if this is an acceptance or what the actual process that's happening here is, but I do want to dedicate this, not only this book, but just this whole induction to everyone who was told to dream smaller, who was told that what they thought, what they believed, what they wanted to do was not for them. I want to dedicate this to every young black child, every young girl who fell through the cracks and nobody came to look for her, so she had to find herself. I want to dedicate this
Let him go.
Somebody gotta hear that story, 'cause they need it.
I want to dedicate this to everyone who has not always believed in themselves every moment of the day and has had other people run with that lack and that doubt in themselves, but somehow, some way, by God, by grace, by ancestors, by spirit, by determination, whatever you want to call it, made something of themselves. And even if that something was just being able to get out of their bed every day and face the world, I want to dedicate this to them. I want to dedicate this to us because I've been all in every form of that person. And I know it seems cliche, but when I tell you if I can do it, you can do it. When I say if I can do it, anyone can do it. I'm very open and candid about like my past and my mental health struggles and things like that. And I've had one of my therapists, because she's, of course done a lot more work with me than what I have be able to share with you all in a few minutes, but she knows an entirety of my backstory, how I grew up, where I came from, different things I had to go through in my life. And she told me, she was like, do you know what happens to women who have backstories like yours? And I said, no. And she said, they are the women that end up lining the lower bed of society. They are the women that become your drug addicts, your drug abusers. They are the women that are found in prisons. They are the women that never make anything of themselves. That is the kind of expectancy they have for women who had the life you've had. And you are none of that. And I'm proud of you. So I want to say that no matter where you may be in your personal journey, no matter where you may have been in your personal journey, no matter what expectations somebody laid before you, you are not that. And I am proud of you. Thank you so much to the Music and More Foundation. Thank you to everyone who was here. Thank you to everyone who's actually read the book. And I want to thank the Mid Archives, the Black Archives of Mid-America, and just I I can't express how grateful and honored I am to be here to have this opportunity. So just thank you sincerely from the bottom of my heart. Let's go.
On behalf of the staff of the Black Archives in Mid-America, Kansas City, we are more than honored to accept these pieces of literature from Ms. Envion Payne and Ms. Mary Moore. Here at the Black Archives, we preserve the history of Black Kansas City as well as the Midwestern area. So this right here is more than just Black excellence. It's what we wake up every day and realize this is what it means to be Black. So once again, we are more than honored, and thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
And all of that's been introduced to all of Mary's pictures.
All of that.
So if y'all didn't see those pictures, those will be introduced too. So I'm gonna go back to the, we good going back to the orders now?
Yes.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna go back to the orders. And I know I should have read yours how I wrote it because I just put M, O, and then. Let me see. So I'm gonna go in a different order than last time. If I can get is Mysterious still here? Can I get Miss Mysterious back up here?
Yeah, yeah.
So I wasn't expecting that. So I was just using one out of one. 7 days out the week alone with my rhymes. Mary Jane may be my only friend getting me through these hard days and these hard times. Seizures, glitching, retracting, redirecting the pathways of my mind. Pass the mic. Pass the mic. Yo, pass me the mic. You queens are just, it's just that the tears won't fall for a God that's even discreetly at times. So I was made to feel as though I'm not supposed to be a part of the symphony of what love is supposed to be. So I started to focus on my healing, like, forget it, never mind. But the savage in me got the best of me. See, my earlier fans remember the poem spoke with me, so I stood up in class like, hold up. Cause I'm the wrong one to fuck with, so. You mean to tell me that I don't deserve to be loved and I need to stifle myself because he's over there intimidated? Wait. You got me messed up. Cause I'm very proud to be 31 with no kids, Black fit, and educated.
Come on.
Multi-talented, multifaceted, sitting in my corner, unbothered and quiet, listening to the good guy cry about finishing last when my strength came from being hunted, overlooked, friend-zoned, and might I add, unprotected. But I'll digress to the shadows to use my pen instead of my voice because the Black woman gets the most respect when she makes the least amount of noise. Till it's realized how much she's needed to make the simplest choice. Like, for real. I fought way too hard for my piece's protection, not to use my piece's protection, so Lady Crumb will gladly escort you to your final destination. See, the reason why my neck and my eyes roll when I get pissed as a Black woman, because you don't seem to listen until they do.
Yeah.
And the reason that my arm bends and my wrist cock is because I got a ratchet attitude. And the reason I'm enunciating my syllables, I've already excused my own behavior, I'm about to come up out my heels because I'm about to act a fool. But before I do, I suggest you learn how to love a Black woman.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna run through names, but I don't wanna dial down the clap. So when people get off stage, show people they love. But I am just gonna run straight through names. I actually seen this lady twice, and I messed up her name the first time with Nicole. Miss Tara Nicole, the first time I seen her was at the corner when she was doing it with Sherry.
That's right.
Yep. So can we get Ms. Nicole back up here?
One time. Another. She's so nice. Put it on a shirt.
Mother, mother, there's too many of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Yeah. The psalmist Marvin penned this hymn in 1971. It is now 2021, 50 years later. The Bible declares that there's nothing new under the sun. If history rarely repeats itself, and that seems to be the case because here we are. While on others thou art calling, we singing, do not pass me by. It's been faith that has led us this far. And it's grace that is leading us on. We lift our voices, praying that heaven rings. Rejoice rising. Hope springs eternal. That a new day will finally be. Brother Melvin asked the question. What was going on? And the answer still seems to be the same. Mothers dying, mothers crying, brothers dying. But we've come this far by faith, leaning on the Lord. And our story doesn't start or end with the shortest month of the year to commemorate history that merely repeats itself. Marvin asked what was going on. And the story still being told.
We're gonna have to bring you back up again if we got time, Mr. Cole. Getting out like that. Yeah. Next, I'm actually gonna bring up somebody that's not in court real quick to give a quick breakdown. I think it was Taylor.
Sean Tyler.
Sean Tyler. Tiller. Yeah, Sean Tiller. Yeah, I had it written down. I didn't know where to put it in. And he's gonna work this downstairs. He's gonna explain what he has going on.
How y'all doing tonight? Nice to be on this side of the mic. My name is Sean Tiller, local artist here in Kansas City, born and raised. 27 years old, local firefighter. I was great an opportunity to be able to have my artwork featured here this month in the archives down at the coffee shop. Been painting for about 7 years now. Self-taught, watch a bunch of videos on YouTube, taught myself, and really fell in love with the space aspect, everything you see down there. So every piece down there is from maybe 2015 to last year. So it's a lot of, you see some growth in my work, but yeah, it was great about this opportunity by Terrence here to be able to come out and share more with you all and to get more exposure. I just want to extend my thanks to you and you as well and as everybody here for coming out and showing love, showing support, and just allowing me to be a part of this community. Because it's as long as I've been doing art, as long as I've been here locally, I haven't had the chance to interact with my people in my community and be able to present to them on this scale, on this level. So it's been a great honor to be able to showcase my artwork to my people. So just wanted to share with you guys. My name is Sean Tiller. My Facebook is Sean Tiller if you want to check out my artwork. My Instagram is melanin_man_son, black man, son of God. So check that out there. But that's all I got. If you guys want downstairs, check out all the space work on the wall. There's me. So thank you.
Hey, if y'all want to check out Sean's work, go down the stairs right here because it's a lot easier to get down there. And we need to give him another clap because in Kansas City we don't have that firefighter. That's So again, I've been blessed to work with folks that do all type of things, and the one thing that is lacking in creative spaces is actually black folks. I work with people that make money off of what I would consider things that you couldn't even sell, right? Or things that wouldn't even be beneficial, but these are occupations. So again, I encourage everybody in here to not only support our artists, but to actually start supporting entities that come from the same geographical area and culturalistic understanding that you do. And with that, we brought up a couple women, so I definitely want to break that, and I go to Seth. So I bring up Mr. Seth Irving.
Like we're breaking the rules, man.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all.
I'm playing.
You know, I had to, last time I forgot, but I have a book out.
Uh-oh.
Coming to the Cross, poems by Seth Irving. This is my life journey. Becoming a man was a difficult and perilous journey. Wasn't easy, but I learned a lot about God along that path. And that's what this book is in poetry form. So it's on Amazon. And my tax professional said if I don't sell books this year, I can't claim it on my taxes anymore. So buy that book. Okay. This poem's called Hard Work Builds Character.
Oh yeah.
Mama on crack, daddy gone, no looking back. Living in the projects, not content with where he's at. Now to live life without purpose, nothing is scarier than to die beneath the surface. But hard work builds character. Crack rock in his socks, on the corner he stands. Cold gun in his waist, what a glorious plan. They say the good die young, I guess it wasn't his time. Cause she was 7 months pregnant when he sold her a dime. He was only 17 when he made up his mind that he'd rather be a criminal devoted to crime than to live his life soulless, devoid of his shine. He figured, man, to live life without purpose, nothing is scarier than to die beneath the surface. But this hard work builds character. Now that lifestyle was short-lived, but his guts would not give. So he kept grinding, kept hustling, till the day came when it all did. He sold dope to an undercover to soon later discover his house got shot up, bullets went through his younger brother. Now he's staring up at the judge, eyes flooded with tears. No reason for what he's done, no purpose to who he is. The judge stares back with a sense of hysteria and says, son, to live life without purpose, nothing is scarier than to die beneath the surface. But hard work builds character. Now the judge brought down a hammer and he was the nail. He was sentenced to 10 years when they threw him in jail. My, how time flies. There's no fire where wind dies. He spent a decade in the joint. Now it's a new world through new eyes. Now life's hard, but he's grateful. They live in laws, but he's faithful. He knows now to survive that his heart can't become hateful. So he goes to the local church and he gives his life to the Lord. Gets involved with the work as a mentor for younger boys. Everyone have a seat, he says, as the kids enter the room. We've got material to cover. I know summer is coming soon. Now just as soon as they all sat down, one hand went up. Excuse me, sir, but this class, it sucks. The teacher said, boy, be quiet, as he wrote with chalk. Learn some facts and after class we'll talk. Now just as soon as the bell rang and all the kids got up, the teacher turned to the boy and said, talk to me, son, what's up? To see no one was looking, the boy looked back and said, when I was born, my mom did crack. Since my daddy's gone, I'm about to grab this pack. Now the teacher grabbed the boy's chair and pulled it closely, nearly breaking his barrier, looked him square in the eyes and said, son, to live life without purpose, nothing is scarier than to die beneath the surface.
hard work builds character.
That's that piece.
I'm gonna try to keep bringing, just to answer your question, what I'm gonna try to do is keep bringing people up so we can keep it at once. I know we have to be out here at 8. Next up, can I get Arsema?
I love them all.
I like your hair.
Thank you. Alright. I wanna know some bullshit. Yesterday, I was walking around my neighborhood, sitting on some steps, talking to a friend on the phone, and someone called the police on me. So today, right now, I have peace. I'm gonna perform.
Oh. They ain't ready.
It's not new, but like, it's just a reoccurring thing, apparently.
Uh-oh.
Lately, I've been making it a habit. Start over. Lately, I've been thinking about fear and how you know something is watching your every move in the middle of the night, and you just know something is about to go down when everything goes silent and black. I said, lately, I've been making it a habit to drive through my white ass Waldonian neighborhood with my windows cracked just enough so that everyone can hear the hood shit, the trap shit, the good old black rap shit that's blasted through my speakers. Despite the fact that someone could hop out the house, pull out the gun, and shoot me. Justice for Jordan Davis and Elijah Alameda. When you're black, you have this relationship with death. You can see it in every resigned parent's eyes when they tell their kids how to say, yes sir, no sir, don't move too fast, know how to make eye contact but not for too long. And knowing that their child could still die by the end of the night. You've planned out every way the people around you could die by the end of the night. Car accident, homicide, medical manslaughter, vigilante shooting, suicide from PTSD that no one cares enough to treat you for, or calling the police on the only black people in the neighborhood. I want people to be scared like I am every time I see red and blue lights, or red hats, or old-fashioned flags, or bumper stickers that say Blue Lives Matter. As if they can't take their blue skin off and hang it up in my room to become the boogeyman that made me scared of the dark. I want fear to fill their hearts.
Come on.
Like that mother who saw her white sons playing with me as a child and looked at me like I was nothing. Trash. Like that family that was walking. They feel what they don't know. They saw me walking, soft smile, black, and gold painted in my afro. They walked off the sidewalk and kept looking back, mad at that police officer who saw my father parked in his taxi, minding his business, and arrested him for obstructing police investigation. Sad, like that white woman who called the police on my 6 foot, 200-pound autistic brother. As if everyone involved couldn't see all the ways his black life could have bled out on the ground. So yeah, I'll blast my music as loud as I can, and I promise, I'll show you how to be afraid of the dark.
Come on.
Can I get Miss Indian Payne up here?
Yeah, you said right.
I didn't read the name on the paper. So.
Oh my goodness, okay. This is just so unexpected. Words and things. Alrighty. Let's try to make it happen. Are we doing good tonight? Is everyone having a great time? Okay, so if you had a favorite candy, you like sweet candy, sour candy, or chocolate candy, what wins? Sweet. Sweet? Chocolate? Chocolate? Nobody likes sour stuff?
I like Mr. Goodbar.
You know Mr. Goodbar, that's my joint. I love me some Mr. Goodbar.
Reese's.
Almond Joy.
Almond Joy, that's another good one. Reese's with peanut butter, that's another one. This has absolutely nothing to do with my poem. I just don't like dead air. So
Want me to bring you back up in a second?
Yes, please. I was not expecting to come back up, so.
No, you good.
All right.
If I can get Mr. John Hypocrisy Lewis. Hypocrisy still in here.
So have you really, retired your target practice?
Get out there, bro.
See what it's like? You should do that.
Books and things. Like Black Lives, Black Literacy Matters.
Trying to tell you. Monsieur, Mademoiselle, it is with deepest pride and greatest pleasure that we welcome you here tonight. And we ask you to relax. Let us pull up a chair as the dining room proudly presents your dinner. Be our guest, put our service to the test. Tie a napkin around your neck, Shelly, and we'll provide the rest. Soup du jour, hot d'oeuvres, oh, we live here to serve. Try the great stuff, it's delicious. Don't believe us, ice the dishes. They can sing, they can dance. After all, miss, this is France. Beauty and the Beast was the shit. Facts. I loved Beauty and the Beast. And I'm old school like classic, always down for the animated joint, sing along. It's just a great movie. I mean, the joys of growing up versus growing, I realized I have none of the traits of Gaston. Fact. I was once told that I went for unattainable things, like women. Since then, I look for nothing but fixer-uppers. Or should I say fix her up? She's damaged goods. She still looks good. Her wear and tearing brought her down. Just some of her joy is gone. And she assumes I'm going to take the rest, give it a rest. Since that fateful day, I've never been good enough. I hung up my cape before I became super. The heroic choice I made, I'll never be tribute. They say, you probably crossed paths with your soulmate in the past. Walk by glance, conversations never get past hello, I understand. How the once king turned beast, witchcraft changed man, and now I sing lonely songs holding a chipped teacup. See, I'm the beast in this fairy tale. And I hope my belt understands that I'm capable of love too. You just gotta get past my rough exterior. I mean my defenses. A woman spelled cast and I'm closed off with a trench, watching a rose, missing a good one, fixated on staying the monster with a lavish table. And no one to dine. You see, I wouldn't wish this on anyone in the world, to see perfection in a rose frozen behind glass, unable to be touched or smelled. Fact. You are the rose. Belle of the ball, beauty at a distance. I wish I could ask you to dance and show you that this beast has moves and we can groove in a silent room to the sound of our heart's conversation. I mean, the joys of growing up versus grown, I realize I have none of the traits of Gaston. Only beast. Thank you.
I really just watched the movie with my daughter, man. Whole movie. And beyond, you ready?
This is a request. I gave birth to a target. A brilliant and beautiful bullseye of a boy, his skin just black enough to be stained red and white. I'm frightened. I don't know much about riflery except that this world is full of marksmen, and my son is a target. A potential victim to the blacktop bloodshed bloodline of a black boy whose breath is trying to be blown from his body. Oh my God, he deserves so much more than the prospect of being shot on Prospect, all because he can cross or check another boy who just wants to remove the target from his neck. These boys will die for their respect, but live for nothing honorable, too afraid to admit they are vulnerable, so they let their spirits become as hard and misshapen as the steel that will root up their bodies at will, while these tough guy games leave mothers in pain and crying. And I'd be lying if I said my son was not a target, not available to have his life bargained for over some retro Jordan 4s, and I tried to hide behind my eyelids. But the truth is, I have a kid who is subject to violence, a seedling that may never grow into a tree, a grain of sand that the tide may try to wash into the sea. But I can't live my life thinking that one day my child's smile might be a distant memory. Misery is found in the middle of the map as the guns clap and crack domes, the blocks pop and shatter homes and weary women write sad poems, trying to suppress the tears that our pregnant eyes have been holding, and I'm raising a son not knowing or able to tell, will he be taken by the cops like Sean Bell? Or after a party like Nathan and DeMarco, and my heart goes out to the families of John and Joe and every other boy taken before reaching his potential. All of this pain cannot be put to rest with one pencil or one poet. My soul gets lit and ignites my firecracker heart, and I wish that firecrackers were the only bang in the dark. But more than likely, the streets have just hardened under the weight of a new soul, and this just in, the new trend is bullet holes and funeral funds, and if you thought they had stopped in Tuskegee, the new wave of black genocide has begun. I don't want to be one of the millions of mothers left missing her only son. But that boy is a target. He has been a target since his conception, yet they tell us that our children are supposed to be our blessings. A notion I held on to the full time I was expecting, neglecting the fact that I would be giving birth to a target, a brilliant and beautiful bullseye of a boy, his skin just black enough to be stained red and white. Thank you.
I see you. I like that.
And now I'd like to bring up a artist that, again, hides in the back a lot. And I'm used to him doing his Russell Simmons, so I'm definitely looking forward to this. Mr. Terrence Williams.
Every Thursday, we're at the Corner Bar and Grill on 18th and Vine, so we invite you out. The doors open at 7 p.m. This April, it will be $5 at the door. For a whole year, there's been no charge, just to get people in the door. But now that we build up a momentum, we get poets in there, we get an audience in there, so we invite you all to come to the Corner Bar and Grill on 18th and Vine to help us boost 18th and Vine.
Yeah.
And we got to be out of here at 8. So I'm going to go ahead and end this with Psalms 133, if you don't mind. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren and sisters to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down the beard, even Aaron's beard that went down the skirts of his garment. As the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion, it was there where the Lord commanded his blessings and life evermore. I'm T.L. Williams, and this is the Black Archives of Mid-America, Black History and Poetry. Thank you so much.
Thank for coming out. If you would like to go downstairs to check out Sean's work, we're gonna ask everybody to go down this route right here. And I do want to encourage everybody to start showing up, support the poets, support Terrence is going on over there. And we have an entertainment district, and we actually have a very good chance of changing the trajectory down here with some of the shows that's already going on and some of the cash that you should be seeing from the city in conjunction with entertainment and artistic endeavors. So thank you again. Sorry, Mr. Baltimore. You were ready to go downstairs, but again, I want to say it was an honor not only being able to archive you here today, but as always, to be able to listen to words of wisdom.
It's being archived, so I don't have any more copies of your current.
Hey, bro, whatever you doing, man, whatever you doing, I want to support it.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Hey, Terrence, good job.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, sister. You got office in here?
Been at it for a while. I'll see you later.
All right, brother. How you doing?
See you later, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let me get a picture with us. Everybody.
Oh, okay.
On Amazon. I can give you this copy. I'll send for the archive. I meant to. He said he told me to bring a book, so you want to get on the archive.
You want to archive it? Huh? You want to archive it?
Heck yeah.
Okay.
I'll give this one.
That's my part of history too.
Sign it.
Sign it. Okay. Okay, I'm signing. And what's your name, bro? Huh?
Bro, Brandon, we also got the gift shop downstairs. I don't know if y'all looked at it, but it's a whole bunch of like work in there too. So y'all wanna,
So I'll get mine and talk to Luke.
Huh?
So I'm getting mine and talk to Luke.
Again, if you have a book, if you have a book or publication, email my office and I will get with the director here, and we'll start the process of getting stuff archived and put in the gift shop and so on. I don't want to miss anything. I want to hand it to him just so. You got a card with you too?
do you have a card with you?
Yeah, you got a card with you too.
I'm texting you now.
Are you gonna be available this week?
Come back up.
Can you come Monday at about 2 or 3?
On Monday.